Hello and welcome to another episode of Geared Toward Gear. My name is Sean and I am so glad you're here. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to join me. Today we've got a quick project video. It's going to be fun. I'm excited about it, but I'm going to cut out kind of the disassembly and installation and all that so that we can just kind of get to the final product and try to keep it pretty brief. There's a bunch of really excellent videos on YouTube on how to disassemble, maintain, and customize a Benchmade Bugout, and the best repository of videos like that, bar none, on YouTube is going to be from Zach Stuff, my good buddy Zach. So if you go to Zach Stuff's channel, or if you just search on YouTube if you just type in Zach's Stuff Bugout, you're going to see pretty much any Bugout related video that you could hope for. So go check those out if you want to see all the details on how this is done. But I'm just going to briefly explain what I have planned. Then we're going to take a quick break, which for you won't be a break because it'll just cut to the end and we'll see what these things look like. So these three Bugouts are, of the Bugouts that I own, they're kind of the last ones that I have that are unmolested, right? They're in their factory configuration. The only exception would be, I do have some of the black and red Battle Wash versions from Knife Center, which I haven't touched. They look great just the way they are, and these look great the way they are too. None of this is necessary. You don't have to upgrade your Bugouts, but is one of the things about this knife that I really enjoy is that it's kind of like Legos for knife lovers. There's just so many things you can do with these, and I enjoy it personally, and so we're going to upgrade these with some new handle scales. All three of them are getting new scales. So the guy on the far left here is the 535 GRY-1 with what they call Ranger Green Grivery handle scales in the gray blade. And these are going to get some G10 scales from Rogue Blade Works in OD Green. And that's what those look like. So it's not going to change the look entirely, but I do like what they call the carve pattern on their scales, the way they're milled. And I do like that kind of true OD green color. I think it's going to look excellent. So there's a little kind of preview of what that'll look like. Then in the middle here we have a blackout Bugout, and this was the Blade HQ exclusive. And as of filming this, these are still very much available, have been for quite a long time. And this one is going to get a set of scales also from Rogue Blade Works, and it's actually the exact same scale as we just looked at. The only difference is these are carbon fiber, so it's that same carve pattern with the milling in it, and that'll go on there. So it'll still be kind of a blackout theme. It'll just be carbon fiber instead of the factory handle scales. And I have a set of these exact scales on another Bugout. It was actually the first Bugout I ever owned and ever customized. So I really do like these scales, so I think that should look pretty good. And then lastly, we've got the original Benchmade 535 Bugout in blue with the satin blade, and this is going to get some titanium scales. I've never done anything with titanium on any of my Bugouts, and these scales, which look just cool as hell if you ask me, these are actually made by Flightanium, and the anodization, the ano work, is done by a guy named Steve, aka Blades We Love, on eBay. He sells all sorts of custom anodized scales and pocket clips and hardware and all kinds of fun stuff. This one's also going to get some hardware upgrades that we'll see here in just a moment. So that's what's going to go on that knife. So 3 Bugouts, 3 different handle scales, and yeah, we'll take a minute. It'll probably take me, I'm guessing, about 45 minutes to do all 3, probably about 15 minutes per knife to get them all disassembled, put back together, lubricated, Loctited, all that fun stuff. I've gotten kind of fairly efficient with doing this, so hopefully it doesn't take too long. But for you, it'll just be a quick second. So stand by, and next time you see these knives, they'll be all done up. Talk to you in a second. And just like that, we are done. We are back, and yeah, it only took about 40 minutes to do all 3, so not bad at all. They all cooperated, didn't give me any major problems. So let's start with the one on the far left here, the 535 GRY-1. Lost the factory scales and got some OD Green G10 scales from Rogue Blade Works. I just really love the texture and the milling on these scales. And although the color difference is not significant, it's noticeable, but the grip and the way this thing feels in my hand it's night and day compared to the factory scale. So I'm really happy with how that one turned out. And the bonus with this one is that I end up with a spare set of factory Ranger Green scales, which I could dye, I could dye them dark blue, dark red, purple. So could be a little project. So yeah, happy with how that one turned out. Next was just the basic Blackout Bugout from Blade HQ, and I replaced those with the carbon fiber scales from Rogue Blade Works. The same exact pattern, that carve pattern scale. Again, I love the way these are milled. They're just very attractive. And it's still got the Blackout theme for sure. It's just elevated a little bit, I think, with the carbon fiber. And they fit so well. They feel so good. Very, very happy with how this one turned out. This may actually be a contender for my new favorite Bugout, believe it or not. Really happy with that one. And then lastly, on the far right here, we have the standard 535 Bugout, the original in blue, which is great as it is, but I added the titanium scales from Blades We Love. The scales themselves, as I mentioned earlier, are Flytanium brand scales, and the anodization is done by Blades We Love, and I think it turned out pretty good. I did do a couple extra things on this one. These were straight scale swaps, nothing else changed. On this one, I did change the body screws and the barrel spacer screws to just standard raw titanium, so got rid of the factory black. I also did add a blue titanium axis lock bar right here. And then lastly, I changed the pocket clip. So the factory pocket clip on this was black, just like it is on this one here. And then here's what the factory clip looks like on the 535 GRY. It's that matte gray. This is a stonewashed silver colored clip. And this is a factory clip that you would find on the Bugout, the 535 1901, which is the limited edition Jade G10 model that they came out with recently. It also comes factory on another model. I think it's called the Saibu. I'm probably saying that wrong, or that may be wrong altogether, but there's another Benchmade model that comes with that clip factory. It's just a stonewashed pocket clip. So again, kind of in an attempt to get rid of all the black hardware, I went ahead and changed the clip. The last thing that I would like to do to this knife, if I can track one down somehow, is change the pivot and the pivot screw, because as you can see, those are still black. And I can live with it for now, but I definitely would like to change those and make those silver in color to just kind of completely eliminate all the black hardware. But very happy with how it turned out. The action's great. They all went together really well. So all in all, I am very happy with this little project evening that I had with these Bugouts. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I'll show you real quick. I mentioned this knife earlier, that I had another knife with these scales, and it's this one here. The first Bugout that I ever owned, a standard 535 Bugout. Got the exact same scales. Of course, you can see I did also change the hardware on this guy. But yeah, I just really like those scales in general. And I also did a video recently, as you guys probably recall, about this Bugout right here, which is the Applied Weapons Technology aluminum scales and all of the brass colored titanium hardware from Adrian in Australia. And I said this was my new favorite Bugout, and I absolutely love it, still do. It's fantastic, but there's something about this one right here. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the simplicity of it just being kind of monochromatic, but I was really surprised with how much I loved this once it all went back together. Like, I am really, really loving this more than I expected that I would. So I don't know. What do you think? Do you think this one is still champion, or do you like the black look better? I think they both look great, but yeah, it was fun. It's always fun to break out the the little knife maintenance kit and tinker around, which is why I love the Bugouts so much. As I said earlier, they're kind of like Legos for knife lovers. You can mix and match and swap things and blades and scales and all that fun stuff, and I happen to enjoy it. So thanks again for watching. I greatly appreciate it, and I will talk to you soon.